All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts fans? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is Colts Loyalist. I apologize. I am not exactly up to the weather right now. I don't feel the best. Been dealing with a head and chest cold for the last few days. Yesterday, I couldn't do my live stream at 6 o'clock because it felt like I had razor blades in my throat. I thought it was just from screaming on my Thursday night game, the live. But no, my son passed on a sickness to me. Yay, raw. But I'm here. I felt bad for not being able to do that last night. So Loyalist and I are, here today. I'm gonna try to push through this a little bit, and we're gonna discuss Jonathan Taylor. Man, Jonathan Taylor is just been a beast this year. I mean, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, but I have posted 3 or 4 different tweets about Jonathan Taylor the past couple days, and they're just astounding numbers. Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines together yesterday took the number 6 run defense in the NFL and dropped it to the 25th ranked run defense in the NFL.
Yeah, everybody says, well, the game was against the Jets, and I laugh because they mean it derogatory when you, like you said, the Jets defense is not a derogatory side of the ball for them. Their troubles are more in the offense base and just being the young team, pretty much. So yeah, whenever people say, yeah, well, it was against the Jets defense, I'm like, that's right, and that's a strong defense. It just the Colts were much stronger for sure.
Absolutely. Now, the only reason we can discuss the fact that Jonathan Taylor may get the crown, obviously, this season, is Derrick Henry, is hurt. Now, to be fair, Derrick Henry, it's not like Derrick Henry's been killing it in the NFL. He only averages 4.3 yards a carry, which is actually around the average running back, in that situation. But the fact that he carries the ball literally 27 times a game, that's just astounding. That's 36% of the snaps of an offense. That is ridiculous. Now, Jonathan Taylor, to be fair, a lot of you were like, well, Jonathan Taylor doesn't get enough touches. He has, per game average, he's 12th in the NFL in touches. 12th. That's not as bad as what Colts fans seem to think. Now, should he get more? Maybe, but at the same time, I understand where Reich is coming from, where he wants to kind of mix it up a little bit, use the running back stable as well, because you got to remember what Marlon Mack and Nyheim Hines is going to take away from him as well, keeping him fresh and stuff. Jonathan Taylor averaging 5.9, almost 6 yards a carry this season so far through 9 weeks is by far and away the highest yards per carry for any running back in the NFL. Far and away the highest. What are your thoughts about that, Loyalist?
Yeah, and I, like you said, listen, I'm all stumbling on my words. Okay. The whole Derrick Henry thing, you're right. Okay. If he's not in there, just overpowering the name, the name recognition would have made it hard for JT to step out of the shadow. But unfortunately for them, he's going to be shelved for a while. So yeah, JT is, any other year you put JT's numbers out in front of people, and people are like definitely top of the conversation and stuff. But for some reason, small market, whatever you want to call it, you just don't get nearly the love. So this was sort of a nice opportunity for JT to get a little love from the national media and stuff, because we've known it now for a while. I mean, you sit there and said, we're screaming, we're like, get more GT, more JT. Yeah. So we've known it for a while. And could you imagine? I mean, I keep trying to wrap my head around. Could you imagine if he got the carries that Derrick Henry got? If say that, that he was 30% of our offense, I mean, oh my gosh, And then as far as you sit there and you factor in the receiving factor, I know Derrick Henry started doing a little more receiving this year. But I would say that JT is far and away a better pass catcher, out of the backfield as well.
Well, I would say that Jonathan Taylor also has one slight edge. Now, Henry is a bulldozer. It's just really tough to bring Henry down. That's what makes him so damn dangerous. And it's all good. I understand that. But they use him so much. It was inevitable that at some point he was going to get hurt, Hopefully this doesn't take him out of the league very long. Not, knocking on that. I understand. I'm not, rooting for the Titans to win games or anything. It's just, it's not good to see a good player out of the league. It's bad for the league for that to happen. Like when Christian McCaffrey gets hurt all the time, It's just bad for the league when stuff like that happens. One thing Jonathan Taylor does have over Derrick Henry is his breakaway speed. That I'm gone. We seen it, Thursday night, on that one little run where he just broke open that game. He hit that hole at top speed and was gone. And he's done that multiple times this year, right? Where he just hit that hole and saw an opening and then hit the NOS button and no one was catching him at that point in time. And that is such a rare thing to have with a running back who has not only got that track speed, but also is a big-bodied guy. He's 230 pounds and can run over people. That's what he was getting last year was, everybody talking about, angry runs, running over people, getting yards after contact stuff. But he can also take off and go. So that is a rare combination of speed and power that the NFL hasn't seen in a long time.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing better than seeing the linebacker or the safety. They start taking an angle and you can generally tell like a step or two into it when they realize that they're like, I did not calculate this speed. You know what I mean? And you're just like, then you just see it and they're already, they know it. JT knows it. He's like, I got my angle, I got my speed, and it's just like you said, it's just gone. And you just sit there and this team, the way we block from head to toe, whether it's the lineman, heck, we had our quarterback blocking this week to make sure that, the running back could get somewhere. This team loves to block. Now, by the way, Carson, let's don't do a whole lot of that, please. But, JT's speed, it's remarkable. There was a lot of tape on this kid, and they're still surprising these guys whenever you sit there. You can just see it. You see it's like, oh, what would normally be a good angle for a 15-yard gain, all of a sudden it's a 78-yard screen pass. Granted, there again, you got your linemen and your receivers, but yeah, that speed is just remarkable. And then you add the strength and, like you said, the mentality of it. He yards after contact is just insane with him, and he does it everywhere. He can hit the edge. He can do it up. There's not one particular, they say Marlon Mack's more of an on the edge guy. Who learned how to do up the middle. JT has always been that guy. If you give me the edge, I'll take the edge. If you give me the middle, I'll hammer it up the middle. I love that.
Well, one thing that I do want to give credit to is the blocking. Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines had over 200 yards before contact. Before contact. That's ridiculous. Now, that's not just the offensive line, right? That's your tight ends and your wide receivers. Remember that play a while back where Jonathan Taylor almost got the touchdown and Michael Pittman was like, man, that sucks. I couldn't get that guy fully blocked out the last 5 yards. Michael Pittman had a seal block on that 78-yard touchdown that allowed Jonathan Taylor to break out untouched and hit his max speed to get him all the way down there. And that was awesome to see because Michael Pittman did what he needed to do. Fuzzy Whistler just dropped it off, man. $25 in the tip jar. Says, we're getting there, Loyalist. Go
Thank you.
Force. Fuzzy Whistler, I think, has already put in 3/4 of the money in the tip jar. So we appreciate you so much, my guy.
Very much.
Appreciate you so much. If anyone else in here wants to drop a little money in a tip jar to help get Loyalist his laptop so that he doesn't have to use his cell phone all the time and be able to actually have be able to do more content and a little bit more variety of type content, maybe even do it on his own, feel free, use the link in the description below where it says tips and drop it in there, and we would very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you can't, but you want to help anyhow, free, very simple, Newsbreak. Everybody who downloads the app and gives me a follow by using the link down in the description puts money in our pockets, and we will use that money in part of Loyalist's laptop donation box. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. Because DeForest Buckner says so. All right? And also, if you guys love good artwork to put up on your walls, whether it's your man cave, your living room, wherever it is, you got a nice little Colts spot you want to put in, or let's say you're not even a Colts fan, right? Let's say you're a fan of another team. Go to the Backroom Collection. They have a ton of great canvas stuff and other items as well to go along with anyone who loves, whether it's NFL, baseball, basketball, hockey. They cover all sorts of sport, even autograph pieces, and they also do special orders. I mean, this was a special order, and I got it. And you can purchase this specific item right at their link, and that is in the description of the video as well. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted, and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts signed pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. Alpha Wolf's like, you don't sound sick anymore. Oh, that was an ad. Yeah, that was pre-recorded, my guy. I'm sorry. Man, I wish I could show the video of the block. I didn't have it available. YFN Trey. I wasn't planning on it. I'm sorry, but it is there. If you go watch, he seals off number 37. It's a beautiful block. I want to thank everybody who's in the chat right now. And this chat's going pretty good. 17 of you. Please don't forget to smash that like button. Hit subscribe. If you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so you are notified next time we go live or upload a video. Nankovsky's in here. Truitt's in here. Anthony Hurt, what's up? Michael Cat is in here. Brandon Stuthers, awesome. Brandon Wood, right? Appreciate each and every one of you. Alpha Wolf is in here as well. I'm still looking to see if there's anyone that I have missed. I did say Truitt Tressler, right? Yeah, I did. Yep. Okay. And that's who I'm seeing. And then the YFN Trey. Yep. So appreciate all of you. Don't forget you can share this as well with the little red share button. You can share it to your favorite social media. Help us out in that way as well. No, it's getting more and more difficult for me to talk the more I talk. Nomadic Brian's in here. What's up, man? Hey, Colts fans. What's up? All right. Oh, look, Martin Hazel's dropping in here. Says $10 in the tip jar for you there, my guy. Appreciate that so much, Martin. He says, watching JT now reminds me of all of his Wisconsin highlights. And he is only going to get better if we could get in the playoffs. Watch out for Jonathan Taylor. That's no lie. Like we said, you know, the Jets had the number 6 run defense in football, and he blew up on them, you know. And it wasn't just them; it was the entire Colts. You know, they were running the ball like crazy. So, we're going to face some other really good ones. We still have to face the number 1 defense in football this year, which is the Buffalo Bills. Odd. And then, of course, Tampa's defense is very, very solid against the run. So we got to face them as well. So we still got some stretch games that we have to play. But I think we'll have an actual attempt at that. And Tina Matherly, I didn't see you in there. Says, you didn't mention me.
Oh. You know what, though? More on that JT thing is he is seeming more comfortable. I mean, you're seeing more of that patient. And then once he's seeing that hole, it's not like he's got that delay for process. You know what I mean? It's like he sees it and he's just hammering these holes like we've been wanting to see. And the nice thing is like you said, the offensive line. I mean, it wasn't JT, it was Naheem, but I mean that touchdown where he runs to the right, all of a sudden you see Jack Doyle and Q and Fisher just sweeping down, ripping through the middle of the defense, and then you see Naheem just kick it out over to the left and drop it in and lower the shoulder into the end zone. It was like, you know, you sit there and you talk about, I don't know that he even got touched on that play until he got to like the 2 or 3 yard line. I mean, the holes that this offensive line and tight ends were leaving was remarkable. And the balance. I mean, the balance. You know, I mean, we had tight ends, we had wide receivers, we had running backs. Oh yeah, we had linemen catching passes. I mean, it was amazing. Yeah, I love the balance of it. I mean, because it wasn't, you know, it wasn't just one piece in the running game. You know what I mean? You've seen how the Naheem and JT can really work well together and stuff. You know what I mean? And then you turn around and sprinkle in, we had Kylan Granson make a couple catches. You know, all the tight ends all played a big part. And I think for me, Doyle, hands down, unsung hero of the game for me, because a lot of them holes, man, it was Doyle just trap blocking like a madman and just, I mean, like you said, making the life easier for JT and the rest of the running back squad. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, before the game, I set the over under at 2. I was like, over under for Wildcat. And I was like 2, thinking that was, and he's like, oh, we'll blow 2 out of the water. It's like, oh, my bad, my bad. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And Okereke stepped up big in the run game again. And by the way, Bobby, thank you for getting that last
I'm
interception and just
muted.
ending the misery of it all, because I was just like, the kids kept dinking and dunking us, and I was like, they've got to stop this, and then got that tip off us. I think Stallworth got his hand on the tip and on that Okereke's interception. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, guys. I was muted. I didn't realize it. I'm sick and I don't notice things sometimes. So I
Oh.
apologize. Everybody in here, Derek Larger was saying, hey, boy, you're sick and you're muted. Tina, muted. Brandon, you're muted. Nomadic, everybody. So I appreciate y'all letting me know.
I'm
Uh,
telling you guys, it was some of the best content of the year for us.
yeah, sure it was. Alphys is great. Now his microphone got sick. That's funny. That's great, my guys. That's great. Nah, man. Like I said, there was 4 Wildcats that was played, and then that's where Loyalist stepped in. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, I was just saying that I'd set the over under it on the Wildcat at 2 before kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I thought that was a good place to set it, and then yeah. coach thought otherwise. I loved it.
Yeah, Jack Doyle did an excellent job. Michael Pittman, Zach. I mean, the blocking was just fantastic all the way across the board, and you have to give it up for the entire team when you get over 200 yards before contact rushing. That's not just offensive line. That's wide receivers blocking downfield to help guys out, things of that nature. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. And it was everybody's like, "Oh, finally it's it's an even game where it was even with the runs versus the pass." And believe it or not, this was an incredibly run heavy game for the Colts. In today's day and age, even a good running game, it's generally about 60-40 in favor of the pass, right? Mm-hmm. This was a 50-50, which is unreal in the NFL. That's more like what a Ravens game would be like. It's just something you don't see, or a Titans game when Derrick Henry's in there.
But see, that's what I think. That's the thing I've been saying is I feel like this is how this team is most productive with this offensive line this year. And with this running back stable, I mean, and shoot, we're sitting there, we're talking about all this running back. I mean, we didn't even mention that daggone Marlon Mack was a healthy scratch. I mean, it's like, yeah, I feel like this is a team that can run 50%, 50-50, I mean, and be a good barometer for how to run the offense and stuff, especially, like I said, with these guys running, getting more of the up-tempo pace and stuff. And I mean, if JT's getting 5, 6, 7 yards a carry, yes, why not? The math adds up the way I see it.
What's up, Wyatt Law? Appreciate you being in here. We got a couple people in here, including Nomadic Brian and Brandon Wood, wanting to talk about that shuffle pass to Jack Doyle. That is the exact same play that we played against the Rams, only flipped. The exact same play, but flipped. And there was no Aaron Donald to blow it up this time. And that's how it's supposed to look.
That can't be. That's still the worst play ever.
Right. Generally, like I said, 9 times out of 10, that play works. It's just,
even DeQuell Jackson said that.
Yeah.
When we asked him about it, it's like, that play is, I'll take the odds there. And like you said, not every team's got an Aaron Donald waiting to unleash.
No, but I'll tell you what, Quinnen Williams ain't no joke. But the Colts made him look. Colts offensive line made him look like a joke in this game because we hardly saw him at all in this game.
Yeah, that's our interior. I feel like that we can do that to a lot of defensive lines, even the better, producing lines and stuff. Like now we're not sure about what when we get against the Tampas and the Buffaloes, but if these guys can keep producing and stopping the run and making these, I know Tom Brady one-dimensional versus, whoever's at quarterback for New York is definitely a different scenario, though.
Can I get a little bit of Mark Glowinski love? He played every snap at right guard, and you do realize that 78-yard touchdown came off the back of Mark Glowinski, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
there was how many times did we run heavy lineup? I mean, you sit there and you see Reed out there, Glowinski out there. I was like, Penner catching touchdowns. I was like, this is a lineman's, it's like, thanks, coach.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Trua is asking, does this say that we're not going to get anything from Marlon Mack? Now, correct. As for trade, you can't trade him anymore. The only way that Mack will go to another team now is if Mack asks and is granted a release the way Odell Beckham Jr. has asked and been granted. Okay? At that
with a lot less payouts.
Yeah. Now, at the end of the season, if he's not renewed, if the Colts don't renew him for another year or two, which most likely probably won't, some team will most likely pick him up. Depending upon how much he plays will depend upon whether we get a compensatory, I can't use that word, but
no, you crushed it.
All right.
Yep.
Pick the following season. Okay. So just letting you know, man. Guys, man, my chest is killing me. It's so hard to breathe right now. I feel like I have to cough every time I open my mouth. Oh, feeling awful. Guys, thanks so much. It's been 25 minutes. I feel like I've been talking an hour because of how heavy my chest is. Please don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time I go live. Tomorrow, I am planning on doing a live game reaction to the Titans-Rams game. That's my plan. I'm hoping I feel better than I do now. If I feel the way I do now or worse, I probably won't. If I'm feeling any type better, I will give it a go. Because that is such a big game for Colts fans. We don't really have another game to really watch. Plus, it's Sunday Night Football, and it seems like something that most Colts fans are going to be eyeballing because we're all rooting for the Rams, right? I mean, come on now.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. I mean, hats off to the Titans and stuff. Talk about getting a replacement back. Adrian Peterson, I was just like, you know what? I think, with the style of running that he has with this line, it's everybody's like, oh, it's Adrian Peterson. He's old. I don't care. Adrian Peterson he's like the Tom Brady of the running backs. He's just been
him and Frank Gore.
As you already say, Frank Gore's more of that slow Novocaine. Adrian Peterson's more of that let me beat you up for a while type style.
Yeah, exactly. Josh Campbell's in here. What's up? He says, why do the Colts always give up leads and Wentz needs improvement? Wentz don't need improvement. I think Wentz has played very solid. He had 2 bad games. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. He had 2 bad quarters.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So far this season, both of them against the Titans. All right. And it was at the end of the game. And for the Titans with Wentz, I really can't give him much of an issue on the first time we played the Titans because he was on 2 bad ankles. Right. But, I mean, come on now. For the most part of the season, Wentz has been absolutely exactly what we needed from Wentz. As for giving up points, whenever the Colts get a big lead, and I've stated this so many times, I am so unhappy with Eberflus going into this soft zone umbrella coverage, trying to eat clock and not give up the deep pass. And, they're like, okay, you can throw it 10, 15 yards at a time, make completions, then we run up and tackle, but, and hoping that's going to – but it's not eating clock because they're just throwing to the sideline 10 yards, run out of bounds, stops the clock.
Yeah.
So there's no point in doing it, Eberflus. Quit doing it. And it's just making it really easy for guys like Josh Johnson to throw 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against you. It's stupid. Quit doing it. Quit doing it.
Yeah, they sit there and continuously say that they try to learn from their mistakes. Minshew did this to us, 2 or 3 years, 2 years ago. I mean, it's just we're making these guys look, just ridiculously good, and it's, yes, we will lose more battles against teams if we continue to just give it up like that. I mean, we'll have more of the Ravens outcomes against teams that just, seriously, you think about it, the offense doesn't click one time or something, then all of a sudden it's a nightmare.
Brandon says if we get any lead against some of the big threes this year, the big teams, and we run this dumbass prevent defense, I'm calling for Flus's job. Watch me. I'm there with you. I said it. I have never been part of a game where we won, the offense put up 45 points, and I walked out of that game feeling pissed off until Thursday. I felt so mad because I was like, there's 4 minutes left in the third quarter and we're playing prevent. What the heck? Would a Belichick done that? No way. He would have put his foot on the neck and been like, let's bury him 70-10. Yeah. That's exactly what, and that's what the Colts need to start doing,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Because we sit there and we're talking about, people saying, oh, let's pull Carson Wentz and protect. No. And the reason you don't do that is because of the message it sends to the team. Well, I feel like not in the same vein, but close, when you start bailing out and playing this candy, soft, freaking, defense and stuff, you're sending the same message and you're not putting your players in the best position to succeed. And daggone it, how'd you get the lead? You didn't get the lead doing this crap. And I
Yeah.
understand clock management, but you can still control the clock to some extent and keep playing an aggressive style of defense that isn't going to give up freaking 95% completions for 3 drives.
Yeah, and what's
Sorry.
sad is in the fourth quarter, I'm noticing the defensive front getting pressures on the quarterback and forcing him to throw early, but because of the prevent defense and there's no pressure on the corners, that he has easy completions because he just runs away and there's a guy with no one around him for 10 yards. He just throws it out there. I mean, come on. I mean, like you said, we get these leads. Matt Eberflus, I love Matt Eberflus's calling for 3 quarters. It's that when we get a lead, that's BS.
Yeah.
When we're in a tight game, he don't do that. We're in a tight game, you seeing them playing man-to-man, hardcore, right up in people's faces, and we're getting turnovers and stuff, You've seen it. I mean, last year, both games against the Texans, Darius Leonard didn't get both those fumbles to turn those games over because we was playing prevent, No, they were in the face forcing that stuff. So Eberflus really needs to change his outlook and his designs for when we get a multi 3-score lead. Otherwise, we're going to end up losing more and more of these games.
Absolutely, but shout out to Coach Reich. You finally found the offense that style of defense needs to be. I mean, you're going to have to consistently put 40 plus on a team if you're going to shut it down. And I'm not calling for his job because, like you said, there is the first 2 quarters, first 3 quarters. There's just this stifling defense. And our run defense. So there is a lot of this defense that I love. It's just the way we close out these games or lack of closing out these games. And seeing this be the end result that you remember from a game that, quite honestly, yes, it was 15 points, but it could have very easily been 35 points, and wouldn't have changed the tone of the game up until the late third, early, or the entire fourth.
Chris Ciazzo, appreciate you being in here. Darren Manus, thanks, man, being in here as well. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell. I know it's early, but you think Pay is not playing up to expectations? No, that's not. I said early on in the season I didn't expect a lot from him early on, okay, because he had a lot of work to get done because he was so raw. He's getting pressures. He's doing very well in the run game. It's going to take time for him to get his second and third move, his counter move, his understanding of what to do when a offensive lineman puts him in a certain situation, that type of stuff. It's not. I didn't expect him to have a big year this year. A lot of Colts fans did. I did not. I thought that he was a work in progress type guy, very similar to Kamoko Toure. Very raw.
Yeah. And I would like to say that we are already seeing that improvement because there was multiple times. I bet if you were to look at his pressures, I would imagine that his pressures over the last 2 games has increased compared to what the pressures he was getting earlier, in the season and stuff. I do feel like we're starting to see that progress, that growth a little bit, and we've seen repeatedly, that the DNs take sometimes 1, 2. Heck, we're still looking for Banogu to do something with it, So 3 years, it's like I said, it's just some of these cats take a little bit longer than others, and he's a rookie. Give him his time.
Darren Manus asked what we think of Stallworth. Now, I said when we grabbed him last year that he's generally a run stuffer. He's got some okay straight line speed to close gaps, but he's not good at doing things like stunts and stuff. Like, he is a one-tech guy. He's kind of similar to Grover Stewart, right? He's that one-tech run stuffer, and if he overpowers the offensive lineman, then he's got the straight line speed to close the gap quick. But I like him as a backup. I've liked him since we got him. I was the guy during training camp that said he's going to make the 53 when everybody else was like, no, this person, this. Like, no, Stallworth is going to make it. I guarantee it. And that's exactly what happened. Is he DeForest Buckner? No. Okay. There's not many DeForest Buckners out there. But
he as well as Grover, those group,
yeah.
those three guys, I think they benefit one another.
Mm-hmm.
Really well.
It's nice that you could put a Donta Stallworth in there to breathe Grover Stewart. That way you keep fresh legs and stuff. And they weren't doing that earlier in the year.
And let's not forget, now we've also got maybe the fourth horseman in that little centerpiece. With
we got a ways to go with that.
Well. But he's there. Let's just see what we got. Like I said, I'm not saying that it is, but there again, another year or two. Let's see. Maybe we've got another little piece of that.
Yeah, I
interior depth. Yeah.
I hear you.
I liked a couple of the moves I saw from him. Especially later in the game last week.
He did get stonewalled quite a bit on Thursday though. He did when he was in there. He did get out on the edge and force Josh Johnson out of bounds. But Josh still picked up the first down. But he was able to move quick enough to get out there, reach out with those long arms and grab him, so he couldn't run for an additional 20. But that again, rookie coming off a major injury. Really just started practicing the last 3 weeks. I'm not expecting much from him early on. Could he start to pick up in 2 months? Say about when playoffs start, if by some magical thing happens, and we're only one game out of the playoffs right now, right? It's not like there's no chance for Indy. We're only one game out of the wild card slots. So it's very possible. We can't write our own ticket in, but odds are if we win our games, we'll make it. So we get to the playoffs, he gets some experience and understands a few things. It's possible that Odangbo could actually be another one of those nice little rotational pieces. It'd be nice to have him, because he's so similar in build and style to DeForest Buckner that, you could maybe use him as a breather for DeForest Buckner and use Stallworth as a breather for Grover Stewart. I think that's a nice thing to have. Yeah.
And, and you sit there and say their physical build. From what I've saw, man, just from the limited interviews and stuff, and it seems like their personality is pretty similar too. They're more of that quiet, I'll lead from, putting my play on the field type. So I like the fact that, like you said, this is a piece to hopefully, pan out and work good for us in the next, 3, 4, 5 years to go.
We had a question in here. It says, Mason Swank, I didn't see Malik Hooker when we played against the Titans. Last I knew, he was with the Cowboys. I didn't know any. All I knew, he was picked up by the Cowboys earlier this year. Mm-hmm. So, but I appreciate you guys. It's been 40 minutes, and I'm so sorry, but my chest is killing me. I'm going to probably have to kill this. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I'm going to let Loyalist give some final thoughts real quick.
Well, this started off talking about JT, and I think that's a great place. Coach Wright, love what we saw, love the balance, And yeah, I do believe that we can be a 50-50 team. I don't think we need to be the traditional 60-40. And yes, I understand we've got a quarterback that can play the 60-40 ball, but he doesn't need to, and that's what we've loved. So just please keep remembering, loved the balance we saw, the mix of, using the running backs. And then, like I said, the math adds. So let's go, Coach.
And please stop playing prevent when we have a lead.
I was keeping it positive.
Until next time, thank you, everybody, for being here, first off, but until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Loyalist, and as usual, have a good one.
just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.